Welcome to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, where it's all about Black empowerment. Our show focuses on Black news and entertainment, arts, science, economics, history, people, and strategies that uplift, empower, and motivate Africans within the diaspora. And now, your host, whose favorite color is black, Goku.
Hello everyone, this is your host Cuckoo. I'm coming at you today to talk about a topic that's in the news once again. I think it's interesting because this similar kind of topic seems to always come up under the same circumstances. So what am I here to talk about today? Well, as you probably heard, the new Tupac biopic is coming out, Alleyezonme. It should be out tomorrow night, I do believe. And before it's coming out, the now director Benny Boom and the producer L.T. Hutton were on some New York shows recently talking about the fact that they took over from John Singleton, who Tupac in life worked with in the past. And they talked about the fact that Singleton wanted to include a scene in the movie with Tupac being raped when he was in prison. Singleton also wanted to add scenes with Afeni Shakur and threesomes and a lot of weird graphic sexual stuff. And rightly so, according to Benny Boom and L.T. Hutton, they felt like Singleton was trying to defame Tupac's character. Well, as it turns out, Singleton was taken off of the project, and those two guys took over, and I'm thankful that they did. But there's a reason why a guy like Singleton would do that, I think, and I think it's a thing that we got to keep our eyes on going forward. Before I go and I get into this, it is true that prison rape is a thing. Okay, it happens. We all know about it. We are all aware of it. According to statistics, there are about 200,000 rapes annually in prison. And I'm talking about rape of men. 200,000. That's a high number, and it's disgusting. But it's also disgusting that it's also kind of a joke in our society. Don't drop the soap. That kind of stuff is always thrown around out there when it comes to male prison rape, and by the way, female prison rape isn't great either. But I'm just talking about male prison rape because of what's going on with the Tupac biofilm. So the fact that Tupac had gone to jail made him an easy target, to be honest. It made him an easy target in reality, because for a person of his stature at the time to go to prison, I'm sure there are guys who would want to target a guy like Tupac coming into prison. But it also made him a target for the rumor mill once he came out of prison. And that occurred in the form of a rapper whose name was known back in the 90s, late 90s, and I haven't heard anything from him since then. A guy named Chino XL had a line in a song where he basically was saying something along the lines like, fuck the industry, the way Tupac was fucked in prison or something like that. So that just added the flames, and so Tupac spent some time in his life kind of trying to defend himself against the rumors of having been raped in prison. And so to see Singleton wanting to kind of build upon that rumor is a bit of a shame. And Tupac actually discussed that in a Vibe interview back in the day before he died. And let me play the snippet of it where he addresses it. And this is being played with fair use, by the way.
I think the new era of rap is like non-thug life or whatever. Like, where do you see yourself?
That's what they want to do.
Okay.
That's what they want to do, because now everybody is shell-shocked and they having trauma. We've been having traumatic nights always. I want to get away from it a lot. I tried to get away from it, but you can't. That's what they taught me.
Right.
The streets didn't teach me that thug life can never die. The world taught me that. I thought I could retire and move on. When I moved on to the so-called real world, the civilized world, these motherfuckers is worse than the niggas in the streets. They was telling, I had little girls writing to me crying, saying you got raped in jail, I'm so sorry. That shit right there is what will fuel the anger that will never die. I had to write letters to 1,000 little kids explaining to them that I would be dead before a motherfucker would rape me, and you know that. So, as far as everybody, there is no mercy in my heart. You know what I mean? I'm not out here on no wild shit like I was before. This is not the same Tupac. Believe.
So there you hear it. The man tells you, everyone knows his persona at the time, his personality. He would die before allowing himself to be raped. That's not to say that it can't happen, but it just shows you the venom. It shows you the venom, and to have John Singleton want to kind of build upon that and revisit those rumors by visually showing this man being raped in prison is a shame. But it brings me to my topic, really. The larger topic is whenever these black films are coming out that have the potential to kind of change the game, to be powerful for the black community on whatever level you choose to accept its power, there's always something sexual, some kind of deviance. There's always some kind of attack on the main character in the movie. So on one hand, Hollywood puts out all of these black movies, and you know, for years people have been complaining about the slave narrative that keeps being shown over and over and over in Hollywood. So then Hollywood starts to do something else where they kind of start showing you some of these biopics, like the NWA Straight Outta Compton, now All Eyes on Me, and in between there they had Birth of a Nation with Nate Parker. And in every instance, before the movie comes out, there's a controversy of some sort, usually something sexual. It happened with Nate Parker, where they were bringing up allegations of rape that were never proven, and it seemed that his roommate was the perpetrator in those cases. But they brought that up. They had female co-stars in the movie, basically shitting on the movie they were co-starring in. That led to a tarnishing of those films. In Straight Outta Compton, Dr. Dre was under heavy attack of having allegedly having moments of domestic violence with a former girlfriend or wife and other women and stuff like that. And now with the Tupac film, we're seeing something else again, with you trying to show Tupac being raped, you trying to show his mother kind of being kind of immoral, or however you want to take it, by showing her in threesomes and whatnot. And I think it's definitely intentional. I think in all of these cases it's very much intentional. It's a way of taking away from the message. It's a way of killing the messenger. In the Tupac case, it's like killing them all over again. It's actually raping his legacy, ironically enough, by trying to show an image of him being raped. People know that the rape of men, the rape of anyone, but putting the women to the side just for a second, the rape of man has always been looked at really funny. Men don't recover from it, neither do women, by the way. But again, the rape of men has always been looked a certain way, and if you had a hard image like a Tupac did, to deal with the rumors is one thing, but to then visualize it, because as soon as you visualize this on screen, everyone's going to believe it as fact. And so when you do that, you diminish Tupac and all the people who love him, all the people who think he was revolutionary. I have my kind of back and forth doubts about his being revolutionary, because, you know, the things he did wasn't necessarily revolutionary, but he was a brilliant mind at the same time. And so to do that, and I have to really question, why is it a black man like John Singleton would want to do that? I mean, really, why would a guy like John Singleton take on that job? Why didn't the Benny Booms or the L.T. Huttons, why didn't they try to perpetuate that after he was removed from the project, after John Singleton was removed? And we have to wonder, why would a black man want to go out there and do that? In the comment section, I want you guys to leave a comment and leaving your theories as to why you think a black guy in John Singleton would want to show someone like Tupac in that light. Okay? And brace yourselves, by the way. In the future, there's going to be a Richard Pryor movie that's directed by Lee Daniels. Now, if you've seen Empire, if you've seen any of Lee Daniels' work, Precious and all that stuff, you know it's always a kind of a gay horror story with him. And now with the Richard Pryor movie that's going to come up that he's directing, you almost are assured that there's going to be something gay mixed in with the Richard Pryor story. Now, Richard Pryor did admit to having dealt with a man or something like that for 2 weeks of his life, but you know that there's going to be something depraved. So brace yourself for it. But in the meantime, I want you to leave comments on why you think it is that they're attacking all these black movies with some type of sexual negativity. Why it is that John Singleton will take on the job of trying to portray Tupac in that light, and Tupac's mom, Afeni Shakur, in that light. And let's have a dialogue about this. In the meantime, I want to thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more in the future.
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.